Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome back to Save Our Sisters Unplugged, the podcast where we empower, inspire, and share stories to remind you that you're never alone in this journey of life. If you haven't already subscribed to the Save Our Sisters SOS YouTube channel, what are you waiting on? Get subscribed, child, so you never miss a new episode or when I go live. I was honored to be invited as a guest speaker on the Speak Up Sis platform. Like Save Our Sisters is an organization that creates spaces for everyday people to acknowledge, own, and give voice to truth so they too will give a voice to their stories in their own unique way. Their Everyday Woman series honors the messages from diverse women, and it runs through the entire month of March in honor of Women's History Month, which is amazing. They explored the theme, My Sister's Keeper. My contribution is the power of storytelling because, as we know, our stories aren't just words, but a source of healing, connection, and empowerment. So in this episode, I dove into how storytelling strengthens sisterhood, amplifies our voices, and helps us to show up for each other in powerful ways. So let's unplug from the noise, lean in, and reflect together. Here's my message. Hello, everyone. First, I would like to thank Miss Angel Charmaine for giving me this opportunity to share. It is such an honor and a blessing to be a part of this powerful Everyday Women series. My name is Norine Fahie, and I am the founder and director of the not-for-profit Save Our Sisters group and host of Save Our Sisters Unplugged, a podcast that's all about resilience, where I empower women to share their journey of survival to success through the power of storytelling. I was born and raised on the tiny island of St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands, and as any islander will tell you, the power goes out a lot. As a young girl, I thought my dad was the best storyteller ever. And it was in these moments when the power was out that he would share stories of himself as a young boy growing up in the Virgin Islands and, of course, in the British Virgin Islands. And I just loved how he threw his entire body into the story. I mean, he did the sounds, he talked with his hands, he just brought the story to life. And I was hooked. As an adult, when I started establishing my relationships with women, I realized empowering women through storytelling was so important because it created strong bonds through the power of connection. And that is why it's my topic for today. The power of connection is so important. And as we know, navigating female relationships can be so tricky. Some women are wired to side-eye you before they even start talking to you. And some women are wired to greet you with a smile. One thing is true, no matter what type of woman you are or what type of woman you encounter, as women, we can always find something that we can connect with other women. I once encountered another woman who looked like she was having the worst day ever. She was just looking very unapproachable. And my first thought was, what's wrong with her? But as I'm looking at her, I saw that she had some really cute shoes on. And no matter what her face was looking like, those shoes was looking like $1,000,000. And of course, girl code requires that I speak on them. So as she approached, I said, hey, girl, your shoes are so cute. Where did you get them? They look so good with your outfit. You are looking so beautiful today. And she smiled back and thanked me and returned the sentiments. And just like that, I made her entire day. And now we're friends because sometimes that's how women relationships work. You like my shoes, I like your shoes. We're besties, right? But now that her walls were down, I was able to ask her what was wrong because I just knew she had a story to tell. And no matter how good she looked in her outfit, I could tell she had a lot going on the inside. And because she feels like I'm less of a threat, she's comfortable sharing her story. This is how we start forming those sisterly bonds, making each other comfortable enough so that we can break barriers, connect, and have positive dialogue. And because I know that I know what it's like to be mentally and physically abused, be in toxic relationships, be divorced, be a single parent, all the things. I knew that there was a good chance that what she was going to share with me, I was going to be able to relate to it. And I was. And that further deepened our connection. Oprah Winfrey has a book that's titled, What Happened to You? It is her belief that our past shapes who we are today. It determines our personalities, our behaviors, and our motives for our actions. And for this reason, when someone is in crisis, it is better to ask what happened to you, opposed to what's wrong with you. And I agree because it allows for us to dig deeper to help us understand why people are the way that they are and how we can help each other through our challenges. Now, getting support through our challenges, it can change our lives for the better. I'm a girl's girl, and I have a passion for empowering women because I believe in the invincible spirit of women. We've overcome a lot. I feel women are always treated like the mules of society. We're supposed to carry our feelings and our burdens of the world on our backs and not complain about it. But we are so much more than that. We are women, and we need to really start standing in that. I created an acronym for women. It's well-educated, opinionated, motivated, empowered, and necessary. We're outside. We're well-educated. We're getting our degrees. We're starting businesses, and we're running our own homes. We're opinionated. We have a lot to say, and we're not afraid to ask questions. We're motivated. When women assemble, we get things done. We're empowered. We're not afraid to fight the world for fair treatment or equality. We're necessary. We have made just as many contributions to society as men, if not more. But I digress. But no matter what we've been through, we've been told to keep our troubles to ourselves. This is why I started Save Our Sisters. Through the power of storytelling, I help women take their power back by using their voices to inspire and be inspired by sharing their stories and listening to the stories of other women. I want women to feel like they're not alone in their life struggles. I want them to know that the sisterhood will stand up and show out for them, stilettos on the ground in support of one another. On the Save Our Sisters Unplugged podcast, I've helped women share many stories. I've helped them talk about sexual abuse, divorce, workplace trauma, human trafficking, and even a coming out story. To me, share means strive higher and reclaim empowerment. This is the goal. We want to strive higher and reclaim empowerment. We do not want to be stuck in our traumas from our past. We don't want to let our past define who we are today. We've already overcome them. So we want to sit in it and then let it go so we can move forward. So when women share their journeys on the podcast, they talk about their struggle, how they got out of it, and where they are today. And because of the sensitive nature of the stories that I share on my podcast, my job is to have empathy and actively listen so I can provide emotional support when they need it. For example, there was a time where I had a guest that was very shy. She wanted to share a tough story. She had never shared it with anyone before. And so she was a little hesitant about sharing it, but she knew she wanted to share it. I could sense that she was so anxious about it. So luckily she was in my hometown and we were able to meet at the local Starbucks and just chop it up. We sat, I was able to help her visualize herself telling the story, sit in her feelings while she's trying to tell the story and how she thinks she would feel afterwards. And as a result, she was able to tell her story, stand in her truth, and walk in her purpose. And she did not break down one time at all. And I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her. But this is how we need to show up in all of our spaces. Not only are we supporting them, but we're teaching them how to support others. Now, empowering women through storytelling is also important when we're celebrating our achievements. And we should all be able to celebrate our achievements authentically. There was an incident where a coworker and I unknowingly applied for the same job. And for the sake of this, we will call her Linda. So Miss Linda and I, we said, may the best woman win. And I thought everything was cool. As it turns out, I ended up getting the job. She smiled in my face, congratulated me, and I started my job. Of course, I moved out of the business unit. But there was one day that I knew I was going to be in the office. And I said to myself, I'm going to see what Miss Linda's up to. I'm going to, just to go ahead and get caught up and, see what's going on with her, what's going on with the kids. So as I'm coming down the hallway to her cubicle, I see that she was outside talking with another coworker. But then the strangest thing happened. She ducked into the cubicle. And I'm saying to myself, well, that's odd. Okay, I let it go. So as I got to the entrance to her cubicle, I asked the lady she was speaking with, is Miss Linda available? She said no. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so guys, listen, I'm 5'7". Clearly I could see Miss Linda's head over the cubicle. So I didn't make a fuss. I just said, okay, thank you. Just tell her Norine stop by. And I left it alone. But I'm saying to myself, what just happened? What in the world just happened? And my feelings are hurt because two things. One, I'm thinking, what could I possibly have done to someone or to even Miss Linda to make her want to hide from me? And two, who does that? But I'm not even that type of friend. Had it been a friend of mine, I would pull her to the side and say, listen, sis, she got the job. Instead of being jealous, you should truly be happy for her. Maybe that wasn't the job that God intended for you, and your dream job is still out there. And if you feel like you should have gotten a job, then maybe you should check in with the hiring manager for a post-interview discussion so you can see maybe where you missed it or maybe what you might have been lacking that they needed. And that way, when you have your next job interview, you'll be completely prepared. See, I take my friendships very seriously. I am very loyal. And if you win, we win. So if she got the job, oh, we were celebrating her for sure. 1,000%. I was going to get the crew together. We were going to have dinner. We're going to have drinks. We're doing all the things. Because her getting that job would not have made my light dim any less. It's not about me. It was about her and her journey. And I would have definitely celebrated her because she's my sister and we should be able to celebrate each other without feeling any type of way towards the other one that may have gotten what we wanted. But I can't support my friends when they're wrong. That is not what we're doing. It is my duty as your sister to cover you and correct you. And if I can't cover you and correct you, we have to reevaluate our friendship. We have to be able as women to hold each other accountable just as much as we get on our knees for each other. Are we not our sister's keeper? It's not just about supporting our sisters through the tough times. It's not just about celebrating us when we have our good times and our achievements and all the things that are good. But being your sister's keeper extends beyond your relationships to positively influence those around you because it creates a supportive environment where we can be our authentic selves. And is that not what we want? So unfortunately, this story was not unique. I shared it with other women who have had similar experiences, and we were able to just hash it out and see maybe we can teach these ladies a thing or two about how to be a gracious loser. I mean, I guess for a better word. But this is what sisterhood is all about. Showing up for each other in every capacity, being present and honest with our feelings, giving each other grace when needed. And when we share our stories and we tell each other what's going on, or as Miss Oprah would say, what happened to us, our stories are what we should use to help each other through our struggles. So here are some lessons that we should all be learning from that story. The first is for the Lindas of the world. Learn how to celebrate other women's achievements. Don't be so self-absorbed that you project your insecurities onto others. The second are for the women of the world like her friend. Learn to speak truth to power. Don't be afraid to gather your friends and tell them when they're wrong. especially if they're displaying behavior that you yourself do not think is appropriate. They're not going to learn if you coddle them and you go along with it, because if you're going along with it, you're just as wrong as the person is. And the third lesson is for women like myself, who sometimes have rose-colored glasses on when it comes to friendships with women. Not everyone is a friend to you the same way you are a friend to them. And when you elevate in life, not all the people you call your friends are going to be happy for you. And you just have to just learn to make peace with it. There's nothing you can do. You can only control yourself. You cannot control anyone else. I am so grateful for platforms such as this, because they give women safe spaces where they feel comfortable letting their hair down or taking their wigs off, to share their stories, to inspire change in women. One woman's story can unlock another woman's prison. We never know what people are going through in their personal lives, but our first reaction should always be empathy, compassion, and support. And as I close, let us remember that our stories are not just personal narratives. They are bridges of connections and strength. And as we share our journeys, we light the path for others, reminding each woman that her story matters and that her voice is a catalyst for change. Let us commit to being our sisters' keepers, holding each other accountable, respecting each other, not like what you see on reality TV, supporting one another, and the power of our narratives and collectively shaping the world where every woman's story is heard, valued, and celebrated. And together, as we weave the fabric of our shared experiences, we fortify the bonds of sisterhood and elevate the voices of women everywhere. Let's all strive higher and reclaim empowerment, because as we said previously, that is the goal. I thank you for joining in this empowering conversation, and may we continue to be inspirations and advocates for each other's success on this journey of sisterhood. Am I my sister's keeper? Yes, I am.